What is gravity?
Everyone learns from an early age that when you fall down to the ground and not up to the sky. Always, the explanation is gravity. But what is gravity really? Newton is credited with discovering gravity. He was the first one to realize that the gravity is the universal attraction between any two bodies with mass.
This means that he realized that the moon orbiting the Earth was the same phenomena as, for example, an apple falling from a tree.
He was also the first person to provide a quantitative law of gravity. He came up with this formula. And this formula works well at low speeds and low gravity, but when an object begins to move closer to the speed of light and gravity increases, Newton's formula completely falls apart. Einstein didn't like this formula. In fact, Newton himself didn't like it either.
The problem with Newton's formula was that he didn't account for time, only space.
So let's back up a second
and talk about space and time, or together, space-time.
Einstein said that space-time was actually a single entity that was four-dimensional, with 3 dimensions for space and 1 dimension for time. But since we can't actually perceive 4 dimensions, let's talk about this in 2 dimensions, 1 for space and 1 for time. We can graph the relationship between an object's position in space and time.
With space on the x-axis and time on the y-axis, the graph for the trajectory of an object that is not moving is just a vertical line.
In this model, space-time is flat, but actually, the presence of matter and energy makes space-time curve. For our purposes, we can think of space-time as the surface of a sphere. There are 2 fundamental properties of curved space-time.
First, the motion of an object in curved space-time moves from one point to another along the path with the shortest distance. On the surface of a sphere, this would be a great circle, a circle whose center is the same as the center of the sphere. Second, any 2 great circles on a sphere intersect each other.
As an example of a sphere, we can use the surface of a globe to model this.
So if we take our graph and put it on the surface of a globe, the x-axis is the equator and the y-axis is a longitude line. The graph of a stationary object is also a longitude line. Since longitude lines are great circles of the globe, the objects move towards each other and eventually intersect. And that is gravity.